Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. I'm sure you're all having an incredible day since the court jesters have officially ruled that XRP is not a security. What a shocker. And moments after this news hit the world stage, we saw XRP move in a straight line breakout through my key price targets that I've been preparing you all to expect for over half a year now. It was a glorious moment for anyone who's been following along this analysis here, and especially for those who were prepared and planned to take action when that time arrived. And now here we are. And I just have a couple short clips to share with you guys. This first one is from the interview I just had yesterday with the Good Morning Crypto Show, literally within 24 hours of this XRP breakout.
You have this 786. You want to start closing daily candles above this 54-cent level, and then I entertain a straight line breakout pretty much straight to 80 cents.
This next clip is from my last YouTube video that I released here.
And we've made it already 80% through this apex, and we're coming pretty close. Apex ending about the same time as our monthly close. That would mean that sometime this month we could see a bullish breakout for XRP into the 60-cent territory. And the measured move of all of this takes you to about the mid 70 cents. And I still think that that 83-cent target for XRP is in the cards this year.
And this next clip being from my Red Pill podcast, which is the podcast that I release over on Patreon every week. And this was a recent update from about 2 weeks ago.
I'm still looking for a break of that 0.5 fib. I'm still looking for a break of it into that 82, 83 cent level, perhaps even $1. This could really get going. And that's about how the coin likes to move.
Now, I personally had sell limit orders set on XRP in advance at 83, 86, and 89 cents, all successfully triggered in what seemed like a 5-minute candle. And if you've been following along here, you know I've been talking about these price targets publicly being my personal de-risking levels for months now. So it's not just technical analysis, I actually practice what I preach. And for those who want live updates on when I'm personally buying or selling, that is one of the perks included in my Mastermind community membership over at patreon.com/watersabove. And the link is also in the description of this video. Last night, I posted additional sell targets over there for taking some profits on XRP now that I've officially de-risked. And remember, the process of de-risking differs slightly from taking profits. I talk about it often here in my YouTube videos, and I break it down even further and simplify the methods even more in my exit strategy blueprint. And that's available over on my website, watersabove.com. And the process that I teach in my exit strategy blueprint is exactly what I utilize to take action in this market. It's a quick course that most people can complete in just a couple days, and it's only around $50, but packed with value. And it's even included for free within my full crypto mastermind course if you want even more value. And just over the past day, I've received the most emails and messages I think I've ever got in that short of a time frame from people who've taken this course. And it's so amazing to read all the positive feedback and to hear from people who are now finally making their first profits since getting into crypto. But what I love to hear most is those who have been able to navigate all of this without letting the emotions get in the way, without any FOMO or having any greed set in. So to hear the change in mindset since taking these courses is really the true game changer. And I'm so grateful for all the support and for anyone who invests in my art. It means the world to me. But seeing the difference in the mindset in my community today versus a year ago is really incredible. It makes me so grateful to be a part of your journey. And after the past 24 hours, I say with the highest level of certainty that what we're doing over here in my mastermind community makes us the most abundant community in the crypto space. What we're doing over there is so special and so rare to watch how we all collaborate, whether the market is up or down. No matter what news they try to feed us on the world stage, we stay focused. And I really can't wait to see how next year is going to go for us with this level of consciousness we're operating at. And we're really just getting started. So shout out to the Waters Above Wolfpack. I love y'all. And I would actually love to see a comment below letting me know when you started following this channel. And what made you initially resonate with what we're doing here? I'm looking forward to reading about how the stars aligned. So let's just get into today's video. It's clear pill time. All right. So for the past month, I've come out with several YouTube videos, 4 new Red Pill podcasts, and 2 public interviews exposing this gem that I found in the XRP chart. And to quickly recap, on the XRP 2-day chart, there is a critical cross of the 55 simple moving average above the 200 simple moving average. And over here on September 17th of 2020, when this cross initiated going over 68 days, we saw XRP top out, and it traded through 68 cents for the first time in almost 800 trading days. So that's 2 direct number 68 connections simultaneously. Then going over to the last time that this cross happened in the opposite direction, where the 55 simple moving average crossed below the 200 simple moving average on the 2-day chart, that was February 16th right here. And if we go over 68 days to this day right here of April 25th, that was the last day that XRP traded at 68 cents until yesterday. So just that alone is obviously mind-blowing to see how the dates synchronize with the moving average cross and also synchronize with the price. And this is why it is such a gem. And as of yesterday, we can confirm that, because going off the last time that XRP had this moving average cross, which was right here, we had the 55 simple cross above the 200 simple on May 1st, and just a little over 68 days later, XRP breaks out in a straight line. And where does it break out to? Well, let's go back to this update that I shared over on Twitter back in April. So over here, I had back on April 13th, just sending out some words of wisdom because it was important at the time. And I shared the 54-cent target back then. That happened. We chopped along that for quite a while. But I also was publicly talking about this 83-cent target all the way back in April and in March. And you just heard 3 video clips of me talking about it quite recently. So I have doubled down on that. And I also shared that I expect at least a 91-cent to $1 XRP in the year of 2023. And as of yesterday, the price hit into 94 cents. So that's within a 4% accuracy and within 4 days of the exact time that I expected it to happen based on the moving average cross I discussed moments ago. This accuracy here is unreal, and it shows you the power of this decoding system and how we combine it with technical analysis to have an edge on this market. So I know for the Wolfpack, we waited patiently for this moment, and a lot of it doesn't surprise you because we do this here quite often, but we had confidence in our decode and our analysis to determine where this breakout would go, and we just let the market do the rest. And for those of you who are thinking, well, Waters, this happened because of the judge ruling that XRP is not a security in the SEC's case against Ripple, my response back to that is very simple. If that is the case, then why are all the people who were saying XRP would go to double digits off this ruling aren't talking anymore? Where are they? And ultimately, why is XRP only trading around 80 cents right now? Into technical levels that we've been talking about for almost half a year. Why was there a sell wall below $1 that smacked XRP down from 94 cents to 80 cents in a 10-minute candle? If this win for Ripple was really that glorious, shouldn't it be above the April 2021 highs? Isn't it interesting to you that XRP was trading at $1.50 to almost $2 during the lawsuit? So how come we traded at higher prices during the lawsuit? And now the lawsuit is over and we're trading 50% down from those levels. Don't you see, family? I'm not being a troll here. I'm trying to open up the mind. This is about expanding consciousness. And this was never really about the case to begin with, and the price action proves it. There is an esoteric aspect to all of this, and I believe this particular coin is the one that I've proven that with the most since I started this YouTube channel over 2 years ago. So I wanted to reveal this decoding system to everyone to help them see what's really going on here, to give you true clarity, and to remove your emotions from this, to avoid the tribalism that consumes people and keeps them from taking action on these opportunities. This is what creates the self-reliant man. Having a system and to utilize this system removes you from the waiting game. But this is nothing new. Anyone who's been following along here in the waters above Wolfpack knows that we've been preparing for this moment. We had our investment thesis in place, we had our limit orders set, and we just let the market come to us. So the next question everyone has is, well, what do you expect next for XRP? Many people want to know if we will get above $1. So since yesterday was a special event isolated to Ripple and XRP, I will go straight into the XRP technical analysis now and share some of my thoughts before proceeding with the rest of today's decode, which you won't want to miss because I have some really important updates for the overall crypto market, so make sure to stick around to the end of this. But let's get into some of the TA on XRP first. So I shared this 83 to 91 cent level quite far in advance. We got there and we were not able to get above $1. If you look at the time frame of which there was the rejection from this move up to 90 cents down back to the 80-cent range, it happened in under 10 minutes. So there's clearly a sell wall here in place, and that's very important that you realize this. But most exchanges we hit into 92 to 94 cents. We actually can zoom out for a moment and pull up some of the fibs here. Excuse me if this looks a little messy. I just want you to look at these numbers on the right side over here. And I talked many times about this key level of 60 cents and how until we get above that level, we're not technically in an automatic rally, because this 382 is my personal indicator for determining when we're actually in an AR. If you're new to my work, I'm sorry if this AR concept confuses you. Again, I teach this in my crypto mastermind course. It's part of the Wyckoff method. I'm a student of that, and it's helped me dramatically in improving my ability to determine what markets will do and to be very well prepared far in advance, and to also determine where markets will pivot and turn around and go the opposite direction. So it's an incredibly helpful technique, and it's not that difficult to learn. I do a very good job at simplifying it all for everyone, and I'm sure anyone who takes my course can vouch for that in the comments section. So we are technically in automatic rally. This is great, and we have a couple of things to discuss about further upside potential, but thus far we've technically completed the automatic rally. And that's because we've touched on the bottom of this golden pocket, this 618 fib. And if you're wondering where this fib pull starts, it actually goes back to the yearly highs of April 2021 and down to the swing low over here of June 2022. This is enough data, and it's a big enough range for me to know this with accuracy. So this golden pocket area is between 94 cents, which we officially hit, up to $1.30. And that's technically the area that you see the finality of an automatic rally phase. So since XRP already brushed into the bottom of this golden pocket, it's technically completed the AR, but with the way XRP tends to move, and this is where we're getting into kind of exploring ideas here. It has at least a 4-day window from the first breakout day to the day it tends to top. So in some instances, it's up to 8 days, but over a week is way more rare. What that means is when XRP initiates the breakout, it tends to top out early, very early. And we don't want to get too advanced here. I want to keep it very simple for you. So let's just assume that 4 days to 8 days from this particular breakout yesterday puts us somewhere between July 17th to July 21st. Again, this is based on past performance. It is not my opinion. So circling back to what I've been talking about for the past couple weeks, we do have the next Federal Reserve FOMC meeting on July 25th through 26th. So any dates leading into that makes so much sense to me. And depending on how that meeting goes, we could see it become even more bullish for the crypto space leading into the monthly close of July. So it's very possible for a $1 XRP still in this month of July. And I'm not trying to, be a moon boy here. Like I mean, I'm really honest about this. And some people might be saying, only $1? That's it? Well, what have I been saying for the longest time, guys? I told you to not get your hopes up with this SEC case leading to a dramatic breakout. And again, another thing proven by how the last 24 hours have gone. So I did bring up the idea of $1.30, and that idea comes from that technical target of the 786, and I've even talked about it in the past. So we're at the 2-day chart now again. I'm going to turn off this noise, and we're just going to analyze the RSI. And with this relative strength index, we do have a pattern that tends to form. So we always want to be looking at our indicators, trying to find patterns. That's how we are a little bit more conservative in determining, how to actually decide what we're going to do with this analysis. And ultimately, that's all that matters, is what decisions are you making based off of what you're analyzing. Now, we have a 91 to 95 RSI range where XRP tends to stop, and that tends to be where it gasses out and the end of the show. We are currently at an 85 RSI as of yesterday's 2-day close. Let me just go over here. And if you look, when I hover right now, you're going to see 85.25. We have some room to go. Last night was effectively a 2-day candle close, so that's why you're seeing this dip down really quickly, because we did trade all the way up into 90 cents and then back down pretty quickly to low 70-cent range. So this is very dramatic volatility. It's going to make these indicators a little wacky, but what I wanted to share was this idea that we could make it up to 91 to 95 RSI. That's about 6 to 9 points away. So if we do see any green candle closes over the next day or so, just keep an eye on the 2-day chart RSI and remember that level of 91 to 95. We have about 5 more 2-day candles before the next FOMC meeting, so plenty of time for a last minute exoteric narrative to give retail a reason to FOMO in at these levels right here and drive this price up so the market maker can dump on them again. That's just how this works. So let's consider the move XRP made the last time we had a 55 SMA cross above the 200 SMA cross that I was talking about earlier, and it was right back here. And if I was to look at the 2-day closure lows off of around 23 cents and move up to the top wick, puts us about 240% up. And remember, I'm considering the data after the cross. So after the cross initiates, that's what I'm considering. So now I want to move over to this moment right here. After the cross, we're going to go off these lows and we're going to measure up about 240%, see where that brings us. We're just having fun here right now, but it's something we could entertain. So this brings us into around $1.44, $1.45. Now remember, for XRP, anything above $1.30 for the past 3 years has basically just been wicks, swiping through these levels, and it's short-lived, followed by rejections. So I personally think $1.30 is about as high as this gets for a daily close, and if it wicks higher, great. I built that into my take profit plan, and I have my limit orders set accordingly, so we're winning either way. And for now, that concludes the XRP analysis. This upcoming Sunday, I'll be sharing all my thoughts in my next Red Pill podcast over on Patreon. But for now, let's get into some of the dates and then finish this off with the Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis to give a general overview of the crypto market. It is very important, so definitely stick around for this. So in my last video, we spoke about this major support trend line for Bitcoin, and I think that that's important that we get back to. We have this right here on this chart. I'm just going to try to make this as clean as possible for you guys. I'm also going to turn on these other moving averages because I use them, and for now, we're just looking at this white support trend line at the bottom. Now, this has been holding as a support for almost 200 days now, which makes it a very significant trend line to consider. I do support this as a major trend line, and I will be keeping this on my charts until it's invalidated. And to recap that analysis from the last YouTube video, we were measuring the amount of days from the last touch on this support line to the microcycle tops of the past two iterations in this continuation of a micro trend reversal. And basically from this moment around here of January 6th over up to this moment right here, it was about 40 days. And then taking off of this March 10th correction up to this April 14th high, it was about 35 days. This gives us a range to consider off of the back test that we recently got. So if I was to take it from that moment and move over about 35 days, you're going to get July 20th, which puts you right in that time frame that I shared before with XRP. And then over about 40 to 41 days takes you to July 25th to July 26th. Again, that is significant because that will be the next Federal Reserve FOMC meeting. So the first big connection that I want to bring up for July 25th that's really interesting, I'm going to go over to my charts over here. We got the 25th of July of this year, and that is Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday of this year as well. And you're going to see that it gives us 111 days. That's significant because this 111 code is how I determined that there will be a Titanic ritual happening this year, since it was the 111th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic back in 1912. And just recently into the summer solstice, we had the Ocean Gate Titan submersible ritual. I already made videos about it, so go check those out. But back in 1912, the Titanic ritual was to get rid of any opposition to the incoming Federal Reserve System, which went live in 1913. Now, it's funny how this Titan submersible event were pretty much right before the new FedNow service launches. Don't you guys find that interesting? Or do you see that it's all scripted? So in late December of 2024, coming up next year, around a year and a half from today, it will be the 111th anniversary of the Federal Reserve System. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Now, some of you might be aware that September 11th, the date 9/11, actually lands on the day leaving 111 days left in the year. And that event happened in New York, which equals 111 in just basic Gematria. And it's about to be the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 ritual. The day the Federal Reserve was established was on December 23rd, 1913. And I want to show you guys this. 12/23, 1913. And we have this being a 22 standard date numerology. Just like I showed you a moment ago, it will be the 22nd anniversary since 9/11 in 2001. This is all tied together by a code. And I want you guys to remember that December 23rd is the last day of Saturnalia, the Saturnalia festival. Again, I keep telling you guys that all of this comes back to the mythology of Saturn. Satoshi Nakamoto is Saturn, Father Time. You could call him Father Blockchain. So going back to the date that the Federal Reserve was established, we have this 67 connection, and right here we know FedNow equals 67. Kind of interesting, right? How this double-digit date numerology adds up to 67. We're getting the same by the code. But I wanted to look for an upcoming date soon that will have the same date numerology, and that brings us to July 17th. Which is very, very soon, about 4 days away. And you can see we have 67, 67, and the 22s in the double-digit date numerology and the standard date numerology. So this is important because July 17th also ties back to Satoshi Nakamoto's mythological birthday, and you'll see this code 103. This 103 is significant because it's the code for Mercury. And let me show you by the code, Mercury 103, got that 103. Mercury is the ruler of fiat currency, money that is created out of thin air, just like the Federal Reserve System, just like this incoming FedNow system, just like crypto and Bitcoin and all of this blockchain conversation. Now, Mercury gives you 23 in Chaldean, also matching Bitcoin 23 in Chaldean. And I use the symbolism of Mercury many times to come to my conclusions on several things, even who would win sporting events such as the last Super Bowl. And of course, before the events happen, we're aware that the symbolism means everything, and that could help us determine who will win, who will lose, positive aspects, negative aspects. And the key symbol of Mercury is the eagle. And if we look at the seal of the Federal Reserve System, you can see that is the eagle. That eagle is Mercury, the son of Jupiter, Zeus, who is the ruler of this age, Pisces. So again, this is another connection back to the Federal Reserve as I prepare you all for what's to come with this new FedNow service, which I created a full decode over on my Patreon for my supporters of the Mastermind community. That decode was packed full of information, and I do have a new decode coming up very, very soon called August Blue Moon Decoded, which follows up on this recent FedNow decode, tying in the significance of FedNow launching this month of July to the ritual tied to Julius Caesar, and then the next ritual tied to Augustus, where we get the name for the month August. So I'm really excited to get that all out to you guys. I think that this has been an incredible month for the Wolfpack and being ahead of the game. And these decodes are really, really preparing you guys. And I'm starting to see now, the appreciation coming from the community to have this awareness. Again, it's so special what we're doing here. So let's get over to the charts of Bitcoin and wrap this bad boy up. And we have talked a lot about this 0.5 fib to the upside. This should be breached very soon. Yesterday, we saw Bitcoin break another microcycle high and continuation, closing on a new daily close high. Today, backtesting the prior rejection level. That's very bullish, actually. And Bitcoin RSI is only in the 60 territory right now on the daily. On the 2-day, barely anywhere close to overbought. So we're looking great, actually, regarding upside potential. And I think it's important, again, to quickly recap something we brought up a couple times, which is this upper Bitcoin CME gap on the CME futures chart, sitting somewhere between 34.5 and 35,200. You could see that mapped out right here. That would make a lot of sense to me to complete this month. So I do see the next leg up for Bitcoin happening pretty soon. We are moving into a new moon in just a couple of days. That is typically a time frame we move bullish into, and we can see extension past that about 5 days, taking us into the next FOMC meeting. So I know if you've been following along my work, you've heard me say these things a couple times, but it's just to prepare you for what's to come. And hopefully anyone who's kind of on my wavelength of de-risking a little bit into what I think will be a bull trap, you can see the merit in behind repeating some of these basics and the fundamentals. This way we don't forget what's most important. No matter what happens on the world stage, whether the SEC comes after Binance.us or comes after Coinbase, or positive things allegedly happen, like SEC case ending against Ripple, you can see how the market still just moves accordingly. You look at Bitcoin dominance, you look at the DXY, you start to see the patterns. So we're ahead of things here. I believe that we just need to let this next week play out as we transition into this new moon energy and the upcoming FOMC meeting. Really not too much to update regarding Bitcoin because it's just in continuation structure. We have our upside targets filling this gap. Then ultimately, I do entertain a touch on the 618. Probably 40K can be brushed as well. And that could all happen in just a couple of days. So I do think this 37,700 target is in the cards if I wanted to be super, super specific. And as for downside, any return back below structure would go into this trend line. I am less downside focused right now, way more upside focused. I think that we have one more leg up. Now, going over to Ethereum, it's really nice to see that we made it back up to the $2,000 level. It's a little concerning, though, that we got rejected at the May 6th level. That was the same day right before the lunar eclipse, which was very key. We talked about that quite a bit. If I pull a micro fib pull from this swing high to this swing low, you can see we're getting rejected at the 786. that's not good. So I talked about this several times, that it's important that we do break higher soon, because we've been struggling on breaking out since this move up to 2,100. And thus far, it's been a very lazy, momentum for ETH, similar to XRP actually up until yesterday. So I think that we might have one more opportunity to see higher highs, but this was technically the completion of your automatic rally. To anticipate anything more than that is just asking, and it's kind of getting into greed. I do entertain a $2,300 ETH at best. I do not see much higher than that, regardless of where Bitcoin goes, because it'll all just be balanced out. So ETH has technically completed its upper targets. I would personally plan to de-risk on anything breaking out above 2,200. Now, getting over to XRP, I'm just going to say my final words on this. This breakout was way too fast, way too explosive, way too quickly. And I do think that it's nice that we're on the 0.5 fib. Holding that 0.5 fib is crucial. And as I said, it takes about 4 days from the breakout day to see another leg up. So we just got to make it through this weekend and see what the weekly open will be like for the crypto market with the stock market, because just have a couple of hours today to trade with the stock market. And this weekend will definitely be interesting, given that it's the first weekend after this ruling. So who knows what institutional money is going to do over this weekend. I'm very open-minded, though, to $1 XRP, as I shared earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed today's update. I will be having some new interviews coming out just a couple days, so anyone you know that has been interested in how we're doing what we're doing, definitely spread the word. It's beautiful to connect with other people. And with that being said, I appreciate all of your support. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. And I'll be catching you on next Red Pill podcast over on Patreon on Sunday. Much love.